Hello everyone, this is Sunir Chaudhary and I am here outside, not in my studios, as a part of World Cricket Chat. Today I have Shruti Chopra with me, as always, and we will be discussing the fifth test match between India and England. But first up, where am I, Shruti?
You're at Shivaji Park. That's where you are.
Yes, that's Shivaji Park, where Sachin Tendulkar first played his cricket and where we have our first outdoor shoot for World Cricket Chat. Not in our studios, but at Shivaji Park. But we'll start off with the cricket. We are going to be previewing the fifth test match between India and England, which so far has been said to be held venued at the M. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. Shruti, we'll talk about India first up. What do you make of their chances in this match?
Well, I'll begin with this one feeling that we believe that India is just going to waltz through England and just win the fifth test match just easily. I don't think it's that simple. I think they're the ones that are under pressure right now because they're expected to do really well. Now, England, you don't expect them to do well. So I think the Indian team will feel the pressure and it will be seen in their bowling. And I think that's the part I'm worried about there.
But what about their batting to begin with? We know that the bowling bit, India has been doing well with Ravichandran Ashwin leading the charge, Jadeja and Jayant Yadav playing their bits. But what about the batting to begin with?
Well, if you want to talk about batting first, I think you should just replay everything I've been saying this entire series. It's flawless. There is a lot of composure. They have so much poise. They're balanced in both innings. Yes, minor issues will always come up. Silly little things will always happen. But the bottom line is I don't really see much of a difference in how India is going to bat in the fifth test in comparison to how they have done.
Which is one thing, but we have seen that India have had some issues. Murli Vijay did score that century, but in the two test matches before that, there were opening issues. Then we have Ajinkya Rahane, who was not in form. Unfortunately, he got injured, and Karun Nair came in his place, and even he has not had a couple of great test matches. So batting has been dicey, but been helped by those lower order contributions. So that do you think that India would be able to overcome those issues, or will it be again the resilience, the word that you use, the resilience of the lower order?
I am more confident this time that the openers will do well. That's where I think there's more poise. I think that's the difference. There's a lot more poise, there's a lot more balance, and I do think that the openers will manage to do much better than they have done in comparison. But which is why I don't feel like there's anything to talk about there.
So let's quickly move on to the bowling. India might go in with an unchanged attack because Mohammad Shami is not going to be playing in this match. He's been ruled out. So you'll have an Umesh Yadav and a Bhuvneshwar Kumar opening the bowling with the seam with a new ball, and then you have the three spinners. We don't really know about the pitch yet. The one thing that is a concern is that there is a lot of moisture in the pitch, and we have seen a few videos come out where Nasser Hussain is looking at how the pitch is getting dried up by the groundsmen. And they're using coal to do that. We had a barbecue back home, and we did something very similar, but that was to heat up something else. We're talking about the pitch here, and well, yes, that's something different. So if the moisture remains in the pitch for the first 1 or 2 days, spinners might not get that much help. So it could be a little different this time.
Well, I think, according to the cards at least, India's bowling in the first half, they will begin really well. But then I think they're going to give way too many free balls to the England team. But then that's it. Then when you look at England's batting, I don't really think that the English will manage to capitalize as much as they could. But I will get to England's batting later. But India's bowling, at least in the first half, initially really, really good. They don't seem to continue that through. But in the second innings, India's bowling gets very aggressive. It's how you have seen them throughout the series. So my complaints will just be in that first half of India's bowling.
Which is what we've seen in every test match after the first one. We saw in the first test match at Rajkot where England managed to score 200 for 2 odd in the second innings as well. But ever since then, in all the 3 test matches, we've seen that India has come back well in the second innings as well. In the second test match, they obviously bowled well in the first innings too. But the rest of the matches, they have bowled well across the test match. But we will get to something else before we get to England's batting and bowling. And that's India's fielding.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you asked about that because I think I've lost a lot more hair off my head, and it's all gone grey and white. But it's gonna continue again. The fifth test. I am so disappointed. I think that's one element of India in this series that I've been disappointed. All of us have been, and according to the cards again, it's not gonna stop.
More slip catches dropped, more catches down, and then
missed,
more
I guess.
stumpings missed by Parthiv Patel, who incidentally did not have a great test match first up in the third test match. Was a little better in the fourth test match, but he did have a few chances going down in that test match as well. Fortunately for him, the way India batted, and a lot of times, every time he would miss a chance, the batsman would get out very, very quickly after that. So
Lucky for
that's
him, huh?
lucky for him. So that's one thing that has gone his way. Well, that was about India and their chances in this fifth test match. Moving on to England, we know that they have nothing much to gain out of this series now. They would want to win a match and go back and think about their future, especially Alistair Cook.
Yes.
But about this test match in specific, what do you think England should be doing?
England need to improve their focus for sure, because they do have the right players, they have the right balance of players going into the game, they have the right bowling combinations also happening. But focus, if one player loses it, everyone loses it. It's like a domino effect happening. So it's focus for me. That's
But apart from focus, focus is something very abstract when it comes to a cricket fan. But when you talk about converting that focus into something more cricketing, what do you think England's tactics or strategy should be going into this match?
England need to improve their bowling for sure. It appears extremely expensive. I really praise the Indian batsmen for this fifth test. So some elements have to be India's batting, and England's bowlers will contribute to it. I just think that they'll be too expensive. It's like that domino effect. One player makes a mistake and then everyone will follow, and it seems to come through in their bowling.
And that's been a problem with England. They have gone into most of these test matches. In fact, I think all of the test matches with 6 bowlers. But the problem has not been the number of bowlers that they have. The problem has been their combination. In the previous match in Mumbai, one would have thought that they would have gone in with an extra spinner. They went in with 4 seamers on that kind of a surface and became a butt of a lot of jokes. In the match before that, I think they should have probably gone in with an extra seamer when they went in with Gareth Batty, and he did not have too many overs to bowl. So that also has been a problem. Faux pas around selections. Moving on to their batting, do you think it will be a decent performance? Because they did well in the first innings, scored those 400 runs, which is a lot of runs on that surface.
It is. At least England's first innings, they may not have the best start, because I do believe India will have a better start with the ball. But as India gives them opportunities to score, England may not capitalize, and I was saying this earlier, and I think that's a little disappointing considering their batsmen should be strong, and they should. They're international players, and you need to know how to put a bad ball away. So I have an issue with their first innings, but I'm pretty confident with their second innings. They will know how to fight back against good Indian bowling. They're not going to give up. I don't see them giving up. And I think that they're just going to fight back much, much stronger than they have done.
Well, I really hope they do not give up, because going into that final day of the Mumbai Test match, we thought that they would probably push India into batting again. They lost their 5 wickets, their last 5 wickets in a span of 33 minutes. I think it was 4 wickets in the span of 33.
Last 4 wickets, yes.
In a span of 33 minutes. We have had friends who were supposed to reach there at the Wankhede Stadium, and by the time they got there, the presentation ceremony going on. But so that's about England's batting. You think England would outfield India? The one department they have not really done as bad as India have done?
I would love to say 100%, but yes, that's as confident as I am that I think England's fielding that will really lift the bowlers. There's nothing else other than probably some really good English fans and some good fielding. I think that's basically what England have in their hand, is extremely good fielding.
So I'll quickly get down to the predictions. This time I expect you to go first, Shruti. Are we also looking at another India win, a 4-0 scoreline going into this match?
So here's my issue with England is their focus. But my positive for India is their good teamwork. Superb teamwork. They know how to get back. I keep saying that word of being resilient, and Why would I not go with India again? I mean, so it's terror advantage India.
Well, I would also want to go with India, but there's one reason why I would be a little apprehensive about India winning this Test match, and that's the pitch. We have seen in the previous three Test matches, the pitch has been spin friendly to an extent. Not one of those dust bowls, but yes, they have been spin friendly. They have genuinely not been pace bowler friendly for sure. What we don't know about this Chennai wicket because of the cyclone is that whether it would be as dry as the previous pitches have been, and if the pitch is not dry, and if England go in with four bowlers, and if the bowlers are in the form that they would want to be, and if James Anderson can back his words with his performances, then we might be looking at a 50-50 contest. But as
what
you
are you
heard
going
that,
with?
as you heard, there are a lot of ifs there. I'll still go with India.
I thought you were going to come up with a draw or maybe England.
Chennai, the Chennai surface, I don't think is very conducive to a lot of drawn matches. It's usually a fair pitch. The problem with the pitch here is that we do not know much about it because of what has happened,
Yes,
because of the
fair enough.
climatic conditions. But otherwise, it's a very fair pitch, helps the bowlers, helps the batsmen. And we have had some really great test matches here. We saw India chase down a score of more than 380 against England in one of the test matches in 2008. We have seen the tight test match being played here all those years back. We have seen the Tendulkar century against Pakistan, where India just narrowly failed to chase down 270. So very fair pitch. We've seen the audiences, or we call them the knowledgeable crowd. All in all, I think a very good test match in the offing for us, Shruti.
Great. So we're both going with India then?
We are going with India
Finally,
then.
I get the answer. So it'll be 4-0 according to us.
I think it should be 4-0 India. Anything else that you want to add to this?
No, nothing. Please subscribe. That's extremely, extremely important.
Subscribe by clicking on that red button, and you can follow us on Twitter by going to World Cricket Chat. That's @World Cricket Chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.